Hey y'all, welcome back to TNT Reactions. I'm your girl Tasha.
I'm Tee, what's up?
So what we reacting to today, babe?
All right, so today we're jumping into Jimmy Carr. I know this is a comedian that has been highly requested on the channel, and what we're doing is we're checking out a clip called "When Rude Interviewers Get Destroyed"
By Jimmy Carr.
Yeah, okay. All right, so y'all can leave your thoughts down below in the comment section, but let's go ahead and jump into this video.
From getting too personal with interviewers,
I think your divorce should be pay-per-view.
to roasting interrupting hecklers.
Kelly, I'm gonna go soft on you, like every man that's ever seen you naked.
Here are 13 times rude people got destroyed by Jimmy Carr, starting with the least savage. Big Nartzy invited Jimmy Carr onto his show and tried his hand at roasting Jimmy.
Look at your trousers, look like you're expecting flood. What's going on there? Shooting.
Being the gentleman he is, Jimmy took everything in stride.
Well, you're finished, cuz. And look at your forehead, cuz. Look like you got a heartbeat in your forehead.
That's not a forehead, that's a 6 or an 8 head.
You look like you got a helmet on.
Little did the host know, however, that in the process of grilling Jimmy, he himself was about to get burned instead.
Both of you smile. Who's got whiter teeth for your fake jaw side? You both got fake jaws. Look, open the teeth.
You can't even see your teeth because your fucking top just look like slugs, bruv. Sharp, man.
And Jimmy didn't miss the opportunity to chime in.
This is what happens when you don't eat 8 bags of Haribo a day.
What ensued after was just Jimmy's usual routine.
Now, Jimmy, you're one of the hardest working comedians in the industry.
The hardest working.
The hardest working.
Compared to you two.
And then Jimmy cooked him some more.
What were you saying about going to the gym? What were you... Let's go rewind.
So the first one, it wasn't a fat joke, but then it was, because he said 8 bags of Haribos a day. So it's like your teeth are messed up, you know, because you eat so much and you fat.
Yikes.
Rewind to that, my friend, because what's your favorite machine? The vending?
And when Big Nartzy was recounting an incident,
Well, look, technically, my last 6 stop and searches,
The last-
it's been mad friendly. Because they stopped me like, well, I thought it was you, you know. You are actually that guy, innit? From TV. So I think they're just pulling me just to, you know what I mean?
Jimmy seized the chance to rub an old joke in.
What did they say
It's a
to you?
bit-
Did they say, put the Haribo down?
Damn.
You're in danger. You might get type 3 diabetes. It's a new strain you're growing.
And things would only get better from there.
Have you spotted his eyes?
Yeah.
They're in there somewhere.
No, let me just open a few.
Oh my God. Wow. It's like sitting across from Jabba the Hutt.
And later, when Big Nartzy was talking about his experience,
My cussing is standard.
That's the thing from Star Wars, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
big giant
I
slug
mean,
monster.
But the thing is, as soon as he said it, because, you know, I'm not that familiar with Star Wars, but he do look just like
he
him.
does. He look
Oh,
like
and
Jabba
I
the Hutt.
immediately pictured that thing in my head.
Yikes.
Damn.
I've always been the fat one in my group, cuz. I'm used to shelling, cuz. Trust me.
Jimmy decided to push his limits with the fat jokes.
You've always been the fat one in your group.
Cuz, and I was getting way
Who
more
would you have
than
to
you,
hang out
cuz.
with not to be the fat guy? You couldn't be a land mammal and not be the fat guy. You'd have to be ocean bound before you could go, hey, I'm the skinny bit.
And while Nartzy
God.
could handle the jokes well,
Jeez.
the same can't be said for this heckler who tried to be funny, but
that's
paid
it.
heavily for it. On August 23rd, 2024, Jimmy was doing a live show when he was rudely interrupted by a heckler.
Any other heckles, please, feel free.
Who'd you get your suit off?
What, sorry?
Who'd you get your suit off?
Who'd you get your suit up? No!
Even after getting insulted, the heckler didn't stop.
A 2-inch jump, yes.
So that's on his suit, so it must be for somebody else.
No, that's
Quiet.
that's how a suit is cut, sir.
And Jimmy took no time to turn the heckling into his personal flex.
I don't want to be a dick about it, but you look like a potato still in the sack. I've come dressed as Thomas Crown, motherfucker.
And after roasting the heckler's attire, Jimmy would find an even better target.
What's your name? Just because I want to hear more of your voice. What's your name?
Dave,
Dave? I love the idea that he popped out, probably f***ing walked out. I knew his mother. What should we call him? Baby Dave.
Despite Dave's best attempts to avoid getting roasted, he got no mercy from Jimmy.
What do you do, Dave?
very little.
It's for the best. You know any
And then Jimmy found yet another target to continue his routine.
Go on, what does he do?
Interviewing. Oh, he's unemployed.
He's interviewing. Well, Dave, all the very best with that. I think there's is there a quick way of when someone's interviewing, what's it called again? Unemployed, Dave.
Right. You're unemployed. The nerve.
I'm just interviewing at the moment.
Right. Interviewing.
No, Dave, you've been signing on.
And jokes about Dave's employment wouldn't end there.
What kind of work are you looking for?
Management roles.
Yeah, we should put you in charge of something.
And then Jimmy gave one final blow.
Does anyone have a mill that needs managing? Because that is the perfect voice to go, trouble at mill.
Right out, he can do.
And we'll be with him in charge.
And just like Dave, Bert from the Two Bears podcast was also roasted for being too slow after he tried to make fun of Jimmy. On May 13th, 2024, Jimmy was invited to the Two Bears podcast, and just a few minutes into the interview, he was greeted with this.
Do you want to do your impression of Jimmy for him?
Hello, Mummy. I would like to take my spot of tea at the meadow today.
Right. Wait, so you've not watched a lot of Downton Abbey, but quite a lot of Guy Ritchie films.
I have. I've only watched Guy Ritchie.
And when the topic shifted to how Bert was mouthing everyone's jokes on yesterday night's special.
My only take back, and if you watch the special, it's super enjoyable, is I read everyone's jokes as they were doing them because I was reading the prompter.
Jimmy got his revenge.
You think we don't know that?
Oh.
No. We saw it.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. Oh, no. I was going to inquire as to your reading age when I got here. I think you're really coming along.
Even when Bert thought he was safe, Jimmy would still make sure to indirectly roast him.
He was
he's
great.
A legit goddamn movie star.
Yeah.
Not like one machine movie. That didn't count. Like a proper. Proper general release. Like people went to see it. They bought tickets.
Yes.
It's like a real movie.
Yeah. Real revenue. Yes.
Not like whatever. You made a thing for YouTube. Not that.
Yes.
A real one.
And that wouldn't be the end of Jimmy's subtle jabs.
When we got our first laugh, I went, okay, I have to wait for the laughter to end to say my next line.
Yeah, and it's a long laugh in that room as well, because it's a big room.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're used to big rooms, but it's a big room.
Yeah.
Later, Bert got too comfortable and started sharing weird stories.
My first joke that worked was about jerking off in a cheeseburger.
Into one?
No, with one. I put it around my, and jerked off with a cheeseburger around my,
Okay.
and that was like a big, that was my closer.
In turn, Jimmy started becoming more obvious with his jokes, with lines like these.
Did they make you leave In-N-Out?
No, but I took,
They shouldn't have called it In-N-Out if they didn't want people to do that.
And these.
How much of a problem do you have with food before you fuck a burger? I mean, I'm not a psychiatrist, but that feels like this is the conversation before the intervention.
Right.
Oh, I love food. No, you don't understand.
And despite being so obvious, Jimmy's humor still proved too advanced for Bert.
When you started doing comedy clubs, because we both started in comedy clubs, and I was not good at recognizing morons. Like, I would tether up to morons quick. Tom is really good at picking out morons. Like, he's like, that guy is an idiot.
He knows he's saying this, yeah?
What am I saying? but like, were you, because you were like, you came from a different world.
I still don't think he knows he's saying this. So you're saying Tom's good at picking out morons?
He's really good at picking out morons. Oh, no, I'm not saying that.
And there, you saw the penny drop in perhaps the slowest of all motions.
And of course, Jimmy didn't fail to rub it in either.
The fact that you didn't get a joke about being a moron.
You have to make me another drink. So wait, did you suffer?
Can we take 2 drinks away?
Fans of the podcast also had a similar opinion. It's so fun watching Jimmy Carr treat Bert the way that a teacher treats that one kid in class that almost made the cut for the special classes.
Damn.
Jimmy giving Bert a master class in how to tell his own jokes. Bert couldn't manage to land a single
See, and Jimmy Carr is one of those comedians that he's very sharp, but you just don't want to piss him off.
Well, I did one reaction to Jimmy Carr, and it was like dark jokes.
Okay, yeah.
And I couldn't finish it.
Yeah.
It was
rough. Really? It
rough.
was really dark?
Yeah, it was a lot of R rapey jokes in there. And I was like, that was like my first impression of him. And so I should have found a different stand-up routine, but I didn't know because we do like dark humor all the time from like
he goes really
Family Guy and stuff like that, but I was not prepared for Jimmy Carr.
Yeah, right.
You know,
a lot of his videos, like as far as reactions or whatever, they don't make it up on YouTube because they get blocked.
Decent dig, which cannot be said for this next heckler who tried to roast Jimmy on his own show. On August 9th, 2024, Jimmy was answering a question from the audience when something unexpected happened.
Would you advise your kids to go into comedy?
Would I advise my kids to go into comedy? Yeah. Easy. It's easy. I don't know. If they're funny, I guess. If they're not, it'd be a hard road.
What are you doing then?
And without losing his composure, Jimmy immediately shot back his own retort.
Is it weird for you to talk to someone sort of face on? It sounds like you should be, or you'd normally be driving a cab going, all right, yeah. What? Sadiq Khan, I shot him.
And soon started inquiring into Joe's life.
What's your name, sir? It's a good hacker. What's your name?
Joe.
What's your
Joe.
Joe, what do you do, Joe?
I'm a cable joiner.
A cable joiner?
I work with live electric.
You work with live electric?
So are you
And
an
as he got more
electrician?
material to work with, the jokes got even better.
I feel like a careers advisor somewhere is trying to nudge natural selection along.
And better.
Shit!
What should Joe do for a living? What's the most dangerous thing?
Damn, you just said you should die.
Well, it would be working with electricity. Will he be able to say electricity?
And despite continuing the
Cable
same
joiner.
joke, Jimmy managed to only make it funnier.
So he would just say, electric. Electric. I work with live electric. I join cables. Well, that one's not connected to that one. Thank God for you. Everything's plugged in.
Just like Jimmy roasted Joe for sounding uneducated, Christina from this next podcast was also destroyed for making
What's going
stupid
on?
inquiries. On November 1st, 2023, Jimmy was invited to the Your Mom's House podcast and soon started getting dumb questions.
So do the Royals just have their own dialect? Or is that like a super upper crust accent? What is the royal accent?
Are the royal family posh is your question?
Well, like...
And this seems borderline retarded.
But when Christina, the co-host, started crossing boundaries, Jimmy had had enough.
Can I tell you that when you talk, I just assume you're so much smarter than every other guest we've had. I mean, you probably are because
there is a real health and safety thing here. I feel your wife, there's a very real risk she may slip off her seat.
Oh, I love
This
it.
is, I feel there's
No, but Jimmy, I'm just saying you're
there's
very...
a connection here.
No, it's not that. It's just
I don't want to call
you're
him
so
a cock
smart.
to his face, but it
No,
really feels like this
it's
is
not
about
that.
to happen.
Though it would turn out that one joke wasn't enough for her, so Jimmy had to put her in her place again.
I mean, the British accent is you always go like, oh, this is better, this is smarter. But then he has a very sophisticated way
You're
of
so
speaking.
sophisticated.
And he is actually intelligent. Because you meet like, hello.
That's us. That's me. I'm the chimney sweeper
yeah.
next to you. Oh, hello, Jimmy Carr. Welcome to the show. Like, I feel like a...
You spent a year in Oxford. You're hiding
Listen to
it
his
so
accent.
well.
And eventually, Jimmy would extend his jokes to Tom, the host, as well.
If you're, my idea for you, I'm not your business manager.
Go ahead.
I think your divorce should be pay-per-view.
Oh shit!
And it feel like we all know it's coming, right? We wish you both well.
No. He's got it.
know it's coming.
Just
No, but that thing of like, I genuinely think
he's
it could
so
be great.
smart. Let him talk.
Christina's insistence on asking stupid questions, however, would bring Jimmy's focus back on her.
Yeah.
Jimmy Carr, can I ask you another retarded question?
Sure.
When you meet...
I don't think you couldn't.
And it was obvious that Jimmy's roasts were absolutely the highlight of the podcast, with comments like these. Tom genuinely laughing at Jimmy Carr's ruthless bullying and flirting with Christina is hilarious. Jimmy going after Christina is making my day. But while Christina was left off relatively easy, this next heckler was immortalized on TV history when he tried to get Jimmy with a clever line. On April 19th, 2023, Jimmy's live routine was interrupted by a classic heckler joke.
When's the comedy?
Instead of fumbling, though, Jimmy started asking the heckler weird questions.
What's your name? David. What's your favorite color, David? Blue.
Oh. But little did anyone expect that these silly questions would result in one of television's most legendary insults.
Number between 1 and 8, David. 6. Okay, and you said to me, when's the comedy on? Well, it says if you want my comeback, you'll have to scrape it off your mum's teeth.
And just when everyone thought he was done, Jimmy put some more salt on David's wounds.
These things don't lie, David. These things don't lie. Nah, I'm kidding. She swallowed the lot.
David wasn't the only one who was embarrassed on live TV, as this next audience interviewer was also...
See, I don't understand. I don't understand how people could be fans of Jimmy Carr and then go to his shows and then still decide to heckle him.
I don't think maybe he was a fan, because if he was a fan, he would have known. And it's very rude while someone is at work, because that's
what their job is, right?
To interrupt his stand-up while everyone's enjoying themselves. They paid for tickets. And so it seems like they're attention whores. That's what that is.
And my thing is that you shouldn't heckle comedians, period. But even if you're not a fan of this guy, you have heard his reputation. And so I just
don't get it.
So red-faced while participating in Jimmy's game. In 2004, Jimmy was doing a live show when he had the brilliant idea to practice an interview with the audience themselves.
Now, would anyone like to interview me? Yes. Right,
Great
her.
Girl.
Lady in the blue, as you will now be known.
Great.
You want to stick a mic on her? Unless you're busy.
But it would soon turn out that Jimmy's pick wasn't the best choice for an interviewer.
Ask anything you want, actually. I've got those there, but you know.
Do you want me to speak from this? Really? Do you want me to ask these questions?
It's not complicated.
And after seeing she was unable to do her job, Jimmy decided to resort to his jokes to keep things moving.
My name is Blonid.
Blonid?
Yeah. It's Irish.
It's Irish for what? Typo?
I knew it had
And
to
even
be Irish.
after going through multiple questions, things were still the same.
So who would you most like to sleep with? Anyone, living or dead?
Anyone living?
Good answer.
hell no.
This could take a while.
But while poking the fire, Jimmy got burned himself.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I think I might be giving her an orgasm. I'm not. Oh. I've never seen it before. I've got no frame of reference.
No, don't worry, you're not.
And just when things were starting to look better, Jimmy would get another opportunity to roast the interviewer.
Any other questions of your own? Any other questions of your own? Any questions?
Any other questions of your own? Most people will just read that and then think of a question.
And after learning of the interviewer's Irish descent, Jimmy had to crack this class joke.
Well, no, I was born in Ireland, Irish passport, Irish parents, but I've got, you know, Irish passport, everything Irish. But I speak like this and present myself in this way because I was educated in the UK. Just goes to show what you can do when you apply yourself. Every time I speak to an Irish person now, I'm slightly saddened. I think it doesn't have to be this way.
The interviewer handled Jimmy's jokes extremely well, a quality not shared.
All right, that was funny.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show you do not mess with Jimmy Carr.
I didn't think it was so bad. I think he still kind of kept it easy on him.
No.
Except for the machine guy.
Yes, he put his foot on his neck and did not let up. Matter of fact, that's what he did with everyone. I think the only one he was more lighthearted with was the young lady at the end, the Irish lady.
Yeah, but I don't think he was really coming for her. It was just
all
in good fun.
Yeah, with her, it was all in good fun. But with everyone else, it went personal.
I don't think it
with
was
the
that
first
bad.
guy, when he called him Jabba the Hutt, like you could tell, like some of those people, they were visibly uncomfortable.
But this shit was so funny because it's true.
Yeah, his eyes were like.
But my thing. Oh, do it again.
No.
As soon as he said Java.
Yeah,
like
you just pictured them.
I was like twins.
Right.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Right.
And you can't unsee it.
Right. Yeah.
And so from now on, I bet people call him Java. You can never live that down. And so growing up, we do this thing called joning.
Yeah. Right.
And so it's where you take cracks at each other, and it's funny, but sometimes you could get hurt in the process.
Yeah, exactly. Because when you go too far, you talk about somebody's mother or something,
or something that really
start fighting.
hurts them, but it allows you to have a thick skin.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why I didn't think this was so bad.
Right. Well, I think as a comedian, you have to have a really thick skin, especially when you're dealing with hecklers, or if you decide to go up against another comedian.
Yeah.
And it just seems like Jimmy Carr is one of those comedians, like, you just don't even do it.
All right. Well, stay tuned for part 2. If you enjoyed it, like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
All right, guys. We'll see y'all next time. Take care. Peace.